You have been told your entire life that this is your biggest asset. You have been told that buying a home is the American dream, that renting is throwing money away, that your home is your retirement plan. It is a lie. A house is not an asset. A house is a hole in the ground that you pour money into. It eats cash. It eats freedom. It traps you in debt for 30 years. Robert Kiyosaki said it first, and he was hated for it. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. Does your house put money in your pocket every month? No. It takes the mortgage. It takes the property tax. It takes the insurance. It takes the new roof. By definition, your primary residence is a liability. The banks love that you think it's an asset. The government loves it. Your broke brother-in-law loves it. Because as long as you are chasing the white picket fence, you are a compliant, debt-laden employee who is terrified of losing their job. Today, on Wealth Architect, we are going to deconstruct the home ownership myth. I am going to show you the math on why your home's return on investment is actually negative. I am going to expose the amortization trap that doubles the price of your home. And I am going to give you the architect's real estate blueprint, how to flip the script and turn your housing expense into your first cash flow engine through house hacking. Stop buying liabilities. Let's start building assets. Welcome back. I'm Ben. Here, we don't buy the dream, we inspect the foundation. Let's start with the vocabulary. Why do 99% of people get this wrong? Because accountants and rich people use different dictionaries. The accountant's view, if you look at a balance sheet, your house is listed under the asset column. Why? Because it has market value. You can sell it. This tricks you into feeling rich. I have a $500,000 asset. The rich person's view cash flow. The rich do not care about market value on a piece of paper. They care about cash flow direction. Visual, graphic of two boxers. Box A has an arrow pointing in money. Box B has an arrow pointing out money. Asset, anything that works for you. A rental property, a dividend stock, a business. You sleep, it pays you. Liability, anything you work for. Your car, your boat, your house. You sleep, it bills you. When you sign a 30-year mortgage, you are signing up for a liability. You are legally obligated to feed that house every single month for 3 decades. If you lose your job, the house doesn't care. It demands to be fed. If the market crashes, the house doesn't care. It demands to be fed. You have bought a very expensive, very demanding pet. This distinction is critical. If you spend your life accumulating assets that act like liabilities, you will end up at age 65 being house rich and cash poor. You will have $1 million house and no money to buy groceries. But Ben, my parents bought their house for $100,000 in 1990 and sold it for $500,000. They made $400,000 profit. Did they? Let's do the architect's audit. Let's look at the phantom costs that nobody talks about. 1. Interest. Over a 30-year mortgage at 6% or 7%. You will pay roughly double the purchase price of the home. If you buy a $500,000 house, you will pay the bank nearly $500,000 in interest over the life of the loan. Total cost so far, $1 million. Point 2. Property taxes. You never truly own your home. Don't believe me. Stop paying your property taxes. The government will take it. You are renting from the state. Over 30 years, taxes will cost you roughly 1.5% of the value per year. That's another $200,000 plus 0.3. Maintenance, the 1% rule. Roofs leak, boilers explode, driveways crack. You should budget 1% of the home's value every year for maintenance. Over 30 years. That's another $150,000.40. Insurance and upgrades, another $100,000. The real math, your parents sold for $500,000. But they likely spent $800,000 to hold it for 30 years. When you factor in inflation, the dollar losing value, most primary residences have a real return of zero. Robert Shiller, Nobel Prize winner, created the Case-Shiller Index. He proved that over the last 100 years, housing prices have barely tracked inflation. It is a savings account that forces you to buy new boilers. It is not an investment engine. Why is the system pushed so hard? Why does the tax code encourage it? Mortgage interest deduction. Why do banks love it? Because it creates stability and compliance. The amortization trap. Look at your mortgage statement. Year 1. Your payment might be $3,000. $2,500 goes to interest. The bank's profit. $500 goes to principal, your equity. You are front-loading the bank's profit. You are renting the money. If you move every 5 to 7 years, which most Americans do, you are perpetually paying off the interest and never building real equity. You are running on a hamster wheel designed by bankers. The immobility trap. When you buy a house, you plant roots. This sounds nice emotionally. Economically, it can be a disaster. What if a job offer comes up in another city that pays double? You can't take it easily. You have to sell the house, pay 6% realtor fees, pay closing costs. The house anchors you to a specific geography. In a rapidly changing economy, mobility is wealth. Renters can move in 30 days to chase opportunity. Owners are stuck managing a liability. The biggest cost of your home isn't the mortgage. It is the opportunity cost. Let's say you take $100,000 cash for a down payment. You lock it into the drywall of your house. It sits there. Dead equity. It earns 0% cash flow. What if you took that same $100,000 and started a service business, bought a cash-flowing rental property, invested in a private equity deal, put it into the S&P 500. The scenario, person A, the homeowner, puts $100,000 into a house. 30 years later, the house is paid off. They have a place to live, but no cash flow. They are house rich. Person B, the architect, rents a modest apartment, puts $100,000 into a business or rental portfolio yielding 10 to 15%. Over 30 years with compound interest, that $100,000 becomes millions. And the cash flow from those millions pays for their rent. In a luxury penthouse, the 1% rule of lifestyle. The wealthy buy assets first. Then they use the cash flow from the assets to pay for their liabilities. Luxury homes, cars. The middle class buys liabilities first and prays they have enough left over to save. Don't buy the luxury before you build the engine. Okay, Ben, I get it. The house is a liability, but I have to live somewhere. Do I just rent forever? Not necessarily. If you want to play the game like an architect, you turn the liability into an asset. You do this through house hacking. The strategy, instead of buying a single-family home, a pure liability. You buy a small multi-family property, 2, 3, or 4 units. The loan, you can still use a residential loan FHA with just 3.5% down. This is the highest leverage debt in the world. The setup. You live in Unit 1, you rent out Unit 2, 3, and 4. The math. Your mortgage, $4,000 por metro. Rent from Units 2 to 4, $4,500 por metro, or your housing cost, $500 per metro. Do you see what just happened? You eliminated your biggest expense, housing. You are actually getting paid to live in your own house. Your tenants are paying down your principal. Your tenants are paying for the repairs. And you get all the tax benefits, depreciation now. Your house fits Kiyosaki's definition of an asset. It puts money in your pocket. This is how you enter real estate. You don't buy a dream home. You buy a small business that you happen to sleep inside of. Do this for 1 year. Then move Yauchi, keep it as a rental, and do it again. After 3 times, you are a millionaire. There is one more reason why the house hack beats the dream home: taxes. When you own a pure primary residence, you get very few tax breaks. Mortgage interest deduction is capped. When you own a rental property, even if you live in part of it, the tax code changes. You unlock depreciation. The IRS allows you to take a paper loss on the building's value every year. This can wipe out the tax on your rental income. You can deduct repairs, travel to the property, home office use. The government wants to reward housing providers. They punish housing consumers. Be a provider, not a consumer. Buying a single-family home is not an investment. It is a consumption choice. It is a luxury, like buying a big TV or a nice car. If you want to buy a house because you want a backyard for your dog, or you want to paint the walls purple, do it. But be honest with yourself. Say, I am buying a liability because I can afford the luxury. Do not lie to yourself and say, I am making an investment. If you want to build wealth, you must prioritize assets over comfort. You must prioritize mobility over stability. You must prioritize cash flow over equity. I want you to look at your future. The liability audit. Are you rushing to buy a single-family home? Why? Is it pressure from your family? Is it fear of missing out? Or are you willing to sacrifice a little comfort to build an empire? The challenge: go to Zillow right now. Stop looking at 3-bedroom houses. Filter for multifamily 2 to 4 units. Look at the prices. Run the numbers. Could you live in one unit and rent the others? Tell me in the comments. I am looking for a duplex, triplex to turn my liability into an asset. Or tell me why you disagree. I love the debate. And if you want to know how to finance these deals without using your own cash, you need to subscribe. We're building the blueprints for the 1%. Hit the bell. Class dismissed.